James, how had Mom been doing?
I think she's been doing the same as always. And actually, I've been at her house since last week. For the past few days, nothing with her has really changed all too much.
I see, but recently Mom hasn't been answering her phone at all. I'm a little bit worried about her.
But thankfully, I'm living close to her house, so I can be here anytime to check up on her if need be.
That's right. This time when she broke her bone, I was shocked. It was hard on me because I'm too far away from her right now to just get up and go see her, so I'm happy that you and your wife are close enough to get there in time. Thank you, James.
You're really that thankful of me?
I am. Having you and your wife over there has helped me relax quite a bit.
Well, if that's the case, I'd really like you to show me your thanks in a more physical way.
James, have you forgotten just how many times my husband has taken care of you? I feel like all he's done for you could make all of this even.
I'm sorry about that. I was just joking.
I hope so. But back to Mom. I'm glad to see that she's gotten well enough now where she can get back up and walk small distances again. At her age, most people that suffer an injury like that usually end up in the wheelchair for good.
Well, you have a point.
I guess I still am a little bit worried about how Mom's been doing. I think I'll go back to her house for a little while. I know that you can't be there all the time, right? You have work yourself.
I'm fine. I'm sure it would be too difficult for you to come over to Mom's house and take care of her by yourself, right? And when it comes to Dad, he's too old and fragile now to help support her.
I guess he's not in the state to be of any help either, huh? He's already told us before that he's pretty close to needing to be put in a home.
So I really don't think you should be coming over to their house when you need someone like me to help out still. To be honest though, Dad's not wrong by thinking that a home would be better for them. They have the money to afford such a place. Do you think it would be such a bad thing to have those two put in a retirement home?
No, I think that would be all right for them. Actually, having them in a home like that would make me feel a bit more comfortable about me not being around them all the time. There will be all the nurses and pros there as well to help them instead of two amateurs like us. But when it comes to my father-in-law, he doesn't seem to think retirement homes are all that great, and that he'd much rather be in his own house.
Huh? He's just being hard-headed, that guy. I'm sure having to deal with your in-laws is a pain for you, right?
They are pains to deal with, but they are old enough now where I only have a few more years to take care of them, and so I want to make them as happy as possible. But anyway, back to Mom and her condition. I'm just worried.
Mom has told me plenty of times now that she's well enough to pick up things herself again and walk around slowly. And actually, my wife and I have been thinking about moving back in with Mom and Dad.
What? You and your wife? Is Kay really all right with something like that?
Well, it's not like Kay has anything against Mom and Dad. And she's already told me she wouldn't mind being in their house, just as long as there's still some privacy.
Is that right? I always thought of her as being the type of person that would never want to live with her parents, or ours.
I was thinking the same thing about her, but I guess we were both wrong.
Well, I guess by having you and Kay living with Mom and Dad, it would make everyone in the family feel a whole lot better.
Right? Even Mom is really looking forward to us moving in.
But is this really going to be all right for all of you? I think it really takes a lot of time to get used to living back with your parents again. Especially for someone like Kay. I'm sure you'll be able to get used to that life fairly quickly. But with Kay, I'm not sure she'll really like it all that much.
If she really does start to think that she's not liking it, we'll move out. But to start, we're both going to give it a try at least. I at least would like to be living in Mom and Dad's house again, up until her legs are all good again. It will be the best thing for those two.
I guess if you're willing to move out when things get too difficult, that's not too bad. If all of you are okay with doing something like that, then I have no complaints about it. And I'm very thankful for you both stepping in to do something like that.
Well, we both happen to be alright moving back in with him, so leave all of this to us. As for yourself, good luck taking care of your father-in-law.
Thank you, James. You were always a bit of a screw-up in the past, but I guess you've changed a lot since then. Everyone was a bit worried about how you'd turn out as you became an adult. always thinking about how you were going to manage yourself and if you'd ever find yourself a wife or not.
I think you're beginning to talk too much now.
I'm sorry.
But I do have both Kay and Mom to thank for the way things turned out for me.
As long as you keep being thankful to them for that, then you'll be fine. Well then, with Mom, please and thank you. And tell Kay I say thanks as well.
Ari, do you have time to talk?
What's going on, James?
Well, this is about living in the house with Mom. I think Kay and I will be moving out of here by next month.
What? By next month? Did something happen between you guys and her?
Well, it's not that living here together with her and Dad has been bad for us, but rather Mom is saying she would like to enter a retirement home.
Really? But hasn't her leg healed by now?
Well, she's not wanting to go into one for support, but rather to be there for all the nice foods they serve and to have people her age to talk to. That's why she's willing to pay a little extra to go into a nicer residence.
Is that right? But why so sudden?
She's been talking about how the house is getting old and that there are too many steps in it. And then at one of the recent meetings she went to, she heard about this new home that's been built, which is more like a resort than anything else. So she'd like to move in there and be supported by people her age while having fun. So I wanted to let you know that this is what she's wanted to do.
I suppose that house of hers is really old, and there are more steps in it than most homes have. It probably is better that she goes into a proper retirement home before things become too difficult for her.
I think it's better that way.
Well, I'm just happy for the past month you and Kay have been there with her and Dad. You both at least got to see what it was like to live with her and be there as her support full time. It's not like there were any problems living in the same house as her and Dad, right?
Yeah, both Mom and Kay especially seem to get along pretty well together under the same roof. Of course, I'm sure Kay has been a little nervous about some things.
Well, as long as it wasn't too stressful for you both, then it wasn't time wasted. And if you both really hated living in that place together with Mom and Dad, then I'm sure you both could have just moved out at any time and leave them be. Right?
Well, I guess so.
I'm totally okay with her moving into a retirement home then. She wants to live there after all, it seems. And she'll have people her age to talk with again and support from the staff.
All right. I'm going to get started on the paperwork then.
Thank you for doing that, James. Is there anything you need me to do?
Actually, about the rent. Mom and Dad have the money for the home, but it's way too expensive for those two to live there long term. How much those two have currently, they may only last a year.
That's a good point. How much are you going to need?
$1,000 to start per month would help. I'm sure if she wanted to go to an older location, it would be a whole lot cheaper, but this place is brand new and offers a lot more.
$1,000, huh? I guess I'll send it over. This can make up for all the time I haven't been there to help out. All right, I'll send $1,000 per month.
Is that all right?
Well, you and Kay have been doing a lot more of the harder work there, right? So please, let me pay that amount.
Sure. Well, I'm sorry to have had to ask that, but thank you.
No worries. I'm thankful that you and Kay tried living with and supporting Mom and Dad for a bit. Anyway, once you have the breakdown of the costs and things like that, send it to me.
How has your husband's dad been doing?
Well, actually, I'm not sure he'll be around too much longer. The doctors even said he's getting close.
I see. Well, good luck with things over there.
Thank you. My husband will be home soon, so I have to get dinner going. As for you, please take good care of Mom this last month with her. James, I would like to talk with Mom.
Then go right ahead.
But she doesn't seem to be answering any of the calls.
Well, she never really looks at her phone, does she?
Hey, can you tell me the number for the retirement home she's living at? I would like to call them and ask if they can hand the phone to her.
I think I told you their number before, right?
And after giving that number a call a few times, I wasn't able to get anyone to answer. I think you made a mistake with that number.
I don't think so.
I really am not able to get a hold of anyone on the other end. And after looking up the name of the place, it didn't come up anywhere online. Are Mom and Dad really in a retirement home right now?
What are you saying? You know they both are. They are still in a new location, so perhaps they don't have a homepage or anything like that yet.
Then would you be able to head over to that place for me? Then I can give you a call and you can hand the phone off to Mom. You told me the location is close to Mom and Dad's house, right?
Well, look, I'm at work right now. Can I do that for you after?
Then when you're out of work, you head right over to that retirement home for me.
That's if I'm able to get out of work early today.
Mom is doing all right, right?
She is.
When was the last time you met with her and Dad?
I can't remember. Maybe last month. Mom seemed to be having a blast at that place. She told me she didn't have any problems with the place and was treated kindly by everyone.
Are you sure?
Why are you getting so worked up right now? You're being a bit rude.
Well, I haven't been able to get in touch with Mom for the past month now.
And that's because you've been busy with your husband's father's funeral, right? Mom is not some child, all right? So just let her be happy where she's living. You were getting too worried about nothing right now.
Next week, I'm going to be coming back to town.
What?
Well, I'm not having to look after my father-in-law anymore. And I'd really like to see how Mom and Dad are doing in person.
I told you everything is fine here. You're going to have to come by airplane, right? You were just here 3 months ago. And you want to fly back again? What a waste of money.
My husband said it would be fine. And since I'm no longer bound down by his father, he said I can go back to my hometown for a bit and see you all.
But coming back home now of all times?
What do you mean by that?
I don't want you coming back to Mom and Dad's house. This is my house now. And Kay is telling me that if you come back here for a while, she'd have to deal with you.
I don't have to come back to that house. I'm only there to see Mom and Dad, really, so I can get a hotel. So don't worry about me being back in town.
We are taking good care of both Mom and Dad.
And I want to see that for myself. Also, I just want to see Mom again.
All right. You'll be coming next week, right?
Yes.
Understood. I'll let Mom know that and try to get her to call you back. All right. This is about Mom. She's told me that she doesn't want you coming back to town next week.
Why doesn't she want me coming?
She's told me that at the retirement home she's in, there's a bad case of the flu going around and she doesn't want you to get it. And actually, the staff there have asked for visitors to stay away for the time being because of it.
Well, then maybe we should be getting Mom out of there for a little while. She's able to leave that place to go out whenever she wants, right?
No, Mom isn't doing too well herself. That's why she really doesn't want you to come back to town right now.
I've had enough of this, James. I'm going to stop sending that $1,000 every month.
Huh? Why would you do that? That's the money paying for Mom and Dad to be in that home, right? Do you plan to get both of them kicked out of there?
Retirement home? Mom is living in a park right now with Dad.
What are you talking about? Why would her and Dad be living in a park?
Because you kicked those two out of their own house. The last time I had been texting you about what was going on here, I was already on my way home.
What?
I got a call from my friend saying she saw Mom and Dad both living in a park together downtown. After that, I told my husband and took off to come home. And that's why you've started to text me right now about how she doesn't want me coming home. You don't want me finding out what's happened to the both of them. Nice try lying to me about how there was a flu outbreak at their retirement home.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
I've already found out this much about your lie, and you're still going to try and hide? I am with Mom right now as we speak. She has been telling me all about how you and Kate kicked her and Dad out of the house. And yet for the past few months, I've been sending you $1,000. What's all that about? I was sending you that money for Mom and Dad, yet you've been using it on yourself? I am going to make you pay for all this BS, James.
Such a pain in the butt. Whatever, I don't need your $1,000. I already have this old house now, so I'll just sell it and take the money from that. You were finally able to free yourself from your husband's old man, and now you've had to find out about this? Well, good luck taking care of Mom and Dad for me, please. Kay and I don't have it in us to care for the elderly. So, there you go.
James, you are such a bastard. Don't tell me this is all about you getting into debt again.
This has nothing to do with you.
I think it frickin' does, James! Did you forget about how we had to help you pay off your debts the last time you got into trouble? My husband sent you $10,000. And after giving you that much, you promised us you'd never be in debt again like that.
Shut the hell up, Ari. I forget about the past all the time.
You haven't changed at all then, have you? I can't believe I thought you had gotten better and were no longer a screw-up. I am such an idiot. I'm going to get that house back from you.
Huh? I'm not sure it'll be allowed back in this house now. Now, let's be honest. This place is old, so it'll only sell for a couple thousand at best.
And I don't want you getting any of that money because you don't deserve it. Also, that house is under Mom's name anyway.
But Mom's signature is too easy to forge.
You'd really do that?
I would.
Bet.
Huh?
I don't think you'd ever be able to do that and get away with it.
Why do you think that?
Well, let's just say I've always been aware of what might happen to you after your first time with trouble. And during the time you'd been away from Mom and Dad, I had always been talking to her about what might happen when you got into borrowing money again. So after a few discussions, Mom made a very smart decision and changed the name on that house to mine.
What the hell did you think you guys were doing? You come over here right now and sign these forms for me.
You think I'm going to listen to you? I'm not going to let you have that house.
Well, then I'll sign these documents under your name anyway. I'm sure nobody will care if they forged, right? Even Kay is telling me that nobody is going to believe you if you try disputing it, because I've been the one living here.
You are both the worst. Good luck trying that, because I'm already 2 steps ahead of you. You're not getting any money from us. Not Mom, not Dad, not myself.
Ari, you are more of an idiot than I thought. No matter how hard you try to dispute what I'm doing, I'm the oldest sibling, and I've been the one living in this house for a month now, so I have the right to this place. I saw this sort of stuff in the drama recently. Even if you do manage to get this house for me, I still have an ace in the hole, and that's my inheritance.
Really? Then I'll have Mom and Dad take you out of their will. So forget about that.
Huh?
You think that just because you're their son, you'll automatically get their money when they pass? That's not how it works. If the person who passes away happens to write a will before their death, then that will is legally followed by a lawyer and nothing can be done about it. So after all the things you've done to the both of them, they have said they will be taking your name out of their wills for good. Mom said that she's already been working on it, right after the moment you kicked her out of the house with Dad. You aren't getting a single thing from either one of them, James, so it's game over.
Are you sure?
Look it up. I'm sure that Kay is already freaking out about this and looking it up as we speak.
Ari, I wasn't trying to be mean to Mom and Dad when I kicked them out of the house.
Of course not. You just wanted money, right? Well, it's pretty frickin' insane to think that you'd kick both Mom and Dad out of their own house just for more money.
I was in huge trouble at the time. I had already been fired from my job and, well, there was so much money I owed.
So you really did get yourself into some major debt again.
I tried asking Mom to help me out, but she told me there was no second chances. And when she told me that, I freaked.
What you've done this time is not going to be forgiven by any of us. I was so worried about Mom's injury healing up fine, and a month later she's out in a park living with Dad? I cannot believe this, James. Are you even family to us? After talking to Mom about this, she told me that she never texted or called me because she didn't want to bother me. She said that her and Dad just needed to endure.
I'll apologize to Mom and Dad for this, and of course I'll apologize to you too. So please, don't have Mom and Dad take me out of their wills. I'm sure after selling this house, I can make things work out for myself.
You are not getting any money from any of us, and that includes from selling that house, which isn't even yours. We are finished being your family, jerk.
Ari, please. I made some mistakes. I promise that after this time, I'll never owe money again. I'll make sure to put more effort into working. Give me just one more chance, please? Please.
You had your last chance and you wasted it. Now you're going to have to face reality.
Right now, Kay and I are in a terrible situation. If we can't get any more money from you, if we can't live in this house anymore, what's going to happen to us? Right now, the loan sharks are waiting for the money.
And who cares? I don't give a frick about what's happened to you two. Mom, Dad, and myself are done with you, and we hope those loan sharks make an example of you both now. And when it comes to a place to live, you have places all around you. You had Mom and Dad go live in a park for a while now, so why not give that a try, huh? I think you both need to go find yourself a nice tree to sleep under out here, and then you won't have to pay for any housing. After that, both my parents took James right out of their wills, and then the three of us went back to my mom and dad's house and kicked him and his wife out. Of course, the three of us couldn't do it alone, but with the help of some friends in the neighborhood, we got rid of them. After doing that, we had a lot of the furniture within the house sold, as well as the house itself. James and Kay had tried coming to us asking for forgiveness, begging for it, but after having kicked my mom and dad out of their own house, after getting into debt once again, there was no way in hell we'd forgive them. The rest of the family wants to make sure those two pay for what they did to Mom and Dad by having them get a taste of their own medicine. After saying goodbye to them for good, we all blocked their phone numbers, and since then don't really know what's happened to them. But whether they are able to find a way to pay off those loans or not, I'm sure they'll end up living one of the worst lives possible together. As for my mom and dad, they both moved out to where my husband and I have been living and moved into a retirement home near us. Now, being closer to the both of them, I'll be able to come to their aid immediately if need be. But, of course, they are both actually in a home now, so I'm sure the staff and such will be there to care for them, even better than I'd be able to. However, I'm going to be going there a lot still to check up on them, as I don't ever want what happened to them before to happen ever again. I want for both my mom and dad to enjoy the last years of their life in peace, surrounded by those who love them, and that's why I will always be in arm's reach, ready to support them.
Hey kiddo, can I ask for a favor?
Sure, but can it wait? I'm at work right now.
Sure, of course. Work is more important.
You know I don't mean it like that. It is just busy. I promise I will talk to you as soon as I have a lunch break. Is it an emergency though? Did Stacy go to buy the food?
No, do not worry. Just tell me when you have a lunch break. And yes, everything is okay at home.
I am on a break now. What is going on? Is everything okay at home?
Yes, you know that I appreciate you letting us stay with you for a while, right? Until we get our own permanent space. Your mom did not have mercy during the divorce proceedings. And with the wedding, things have been tough financially.
Yeah, I know, but stop beating around the bush. Just so you know, you put Mom through a lot. I am only letting you stay with me because you're my dad, but Mom had every right to the house.
I do not know how to say this, but Stacy and I are a newly married couple. We do not have money for a honeymoon. Wait, I'm not asking for money. Stacy has been complaining that we never get alone time since you're always at home. And about that, I have noticed that you do not have friends. Is it something we should be concerned about? Anyways, we were wondering if you would just maybe go visit a friend for a couple of days, so Stacy and I can have alone time.
Dad, what the fuck? Is this Stacy I am speaking to? Because my dad did not just say all of that. Are you saying that I do not have a life? For your own info, I work for over 12 hours a day, so I do not have time for friends. And how long is a couple of days?
Calm down, Cupcake. I do not want to fight with you. I know that you are sacrificing a lot just so we can stay with you while we get our own living arrangements sorted.
You said you needed to stay for just 2 weeks. It has been 4. Do you ever have plans to move out? I am tired of lying to Mom. She still does not know you're staying with me. Why did I even agree to let you two stay with me? Especially with the way you hurt Mom for a younger woman. I thought you were better than that. I did not say much because no one ever listens to me anyway.
Cupcake, look. I have already told you that my mom and my relationship was long ago. I love Stacy. It was just best for me to let your mom go. Please, calm down. It is just a small request. Like maybe 2 weeks. Are you still dating Brian? Maybe you can go and stay at his place. Stacy appreciates your generosity, but she has needs as well.
First of all, gross. I will pretend you did not just say that. If only you had been paying attention to my life these past few months, you would have known Brian and I were over a long time ago. 2 weeks? Even if I started staying with someone for those 2 weeks, it would be like I am taking advantage. That is such a long time. You guys are just going to have to postpone whatever it is you want to do. Ugh. Please, do not ever talk about your romantic life with Stacy to me. And quit it with the cupcake nickname. I am not 12.
It is not too much to ask. After everything I have done for you, this is how you replay your father? I cannot just postpone my honeymoon.
I am not even home most of the time. So why does she have a problem with me being in the house?
V, it is not the same. It would be nice to feel like we have our own space.
Dad, I will respectfully ask you to tell Stacy that her plan to send you to fight her battles has failed. This is nonsense. I love you, Dad. But if you keep on putting me in difficult positions, I am starting to feel like you are taking advantage of my kindness.
Sweetheart, you know I would never do that.
The answer is no. I thought you were different from your stuck-up siblings, but you were all the same, entitled brats. And then, why are you even texting me? I owe you nothing. Don't you have work to do? And if it is about me leaving the apartment, it is not happening. Why are you so disrespectful to your dad? He is a good man, but you're just a stuck-up brat. Just because you have your own house now and are financially independent, you want to act as if he is nothing to you? Why are you making such a big deal about it as well? It is just for 2 weeks, then you can come back. Are you jealous because you're single? Hell will freeze over before I discuss my romantic life with you. You see, the dad I knew would never try to displace his own child for his mistress. Wife. I am his wife right now. I am your stepmother as well. Show some respect. You will always be his mistress in my eyes, no matter what you do. A skunk deserves more of my respect than a homewrecker like you. I guess the stupidity from your mom's side is very strong in you. He chose me over her because he loves me and I make him happy. I will have his kids. I am the one wearing his ring and I am going nowhere. I am here to stay. He missed important life events because of you. I do not know what you have done to him, but this is my kind and considerate dad. Do you not have a conscience for what you have done to him? You are living in my house, eating my food, and using my things. You have no right to tell me to leave. You say you hate him, yet every day you seek his approval. Let us face the facts. You let him stay with you, knowing how your mother would feel about it. No matter what you say, you will always love your dad. You want him to be happy, right? Well, I am the one who makes him happy. He thinks you make him happy, but he will realize soon that he does not need you. You are only staying here because I do not want my dad on the streets. But if I kick you out, do you really think he will follow you? I am his wife. You are a reminder of his past. I have done things that your mother could not. You do not realize just how much he cares about me. He quit smoking for me, left that woman for me, and is looking to buy a house for me. If I was you, I was gonna act nice. Your relationship with your mother is already strained. Who told you that? My mother and I are fine. You are not fine. She bullies you. Your dad has taken your side over and over again. Now you don't want to do him a civil favor just so he could be happy? With children like you, who needs enemies, right? I respect my dad a lot, so I will go back to work right now and never discuss this with the both of you ever again. Do not mistake my respect for weakness. I knew you were toxic, but this is on another level. How could you do this? Wait till my father finds out. You have gone too far this time. What could you be talking about, my dear daughter? Your daughter, my foot. Leave my mom alone. Have you not hurt her enough? It was bad enough that you took her husband, so why are you telling her that you guys are staying with me? I am guessing she was not so happy. I figured she must have had a heart attack since she's so fond of drama. What is wrong with you? Is everything intact in your head? I told you that I will not leave the house for 2 weeks. You can have your honeymoon when you find a place to stay. You two begged me for a place to stay, and even though I did not like you, I allowed it. So, you feel really special because we are living in your house. Your father paid for your education, was there for you at every school event, and supported you financially. You owe him, and no amount of money will ever come close to what he has done for you. You think I don't know that? How heartless can you be not to see that your father is in love? Surely you must want him to be happy. Just because no one wants to date you, you want to ruin other people's relationship. What did you call me? You hag. At least I have a husband. You are just jealous because you're alone and single. Take the time to go out and meet people. You're not a bad-looking person, but you seriously need to get a life. Maybe get a fresh haircut. I know this amazing hairstylist who can transform you. My eyes are deceiving me? I am happy alone, thank you. I have a good job. I am not trying to sponge off my husband's daughter, and I have plenty of time for marriage later. And do not talk about my hair ever again. You are seriously testing me. Please start looking for a place to stay. I do not want to kick you out. You cannot be serious. You could never kick your own dad out. I am your mom now. Why are you such a spoiled brat? You are not my mom. You are my father's mistress. Vera? Answer me. Where is all the food? You know, your father needs to eat before he can take his meds. I am in a meeting. Stop pinging my phone. Are you not late for work, by the way? You're gonna need that job. What do you mean? Oh, did my father not tell you? I told him that I did not want to see him in my house when I got back from work. What are you talking about? He did not tell me anything. I could move a moving truck for the both of you. Do not worry, I have paid for it. It can take you anywhere you want to go. Downtown, to a new apartment. Hell, you name it. You are joking, right? Why are you being so dramatic? We need a while so we can get our own place. You know that your dad's finances are a mess right now. Where do you want him to go? I don't know. Do you not have family members? Look, having you two stay with me was fine in the beginning, as you did not even bother me much. I even started to think that you were not as bad as you seemed. But the problem is that you think this is your husband's house, and you are the madame of the house. We cannot have two bulls in a corral. It is time for you two to leave my house. You have also put me in the firing line with my mom and my siblings. Vera, you cannot do this. Please. Your father will never forgive you. I am at work. If I see you at my house when I get back, I will call security to throw you out. You ungrateful bitch.
Hey, sweetheart.
Now you talk to me. The both of you ignored me in my own house, cooked food, and did not leave any for me. I sent you the chats where she was calling me, my mom, and my siblings names. She openly admitted to the fact that she controls you.
Please, listen.
Listen to what? Dad, you are not the father I grew up with, who would fight everyone to defend me. I put aside my hurt when you and mom divorced just so you would not starve on the streets. I tolerated her when she pranced around with your ring acting like she was a queen. That was because despite everything, you are still my father. I hate you for what you did to my mom, but I still respected you. But now, I have no respect for you.
Dear, I am sorry for all of that. I have put you through. Stacy was out of line. I made her see it, and she's willing to apologize for everything that she said.
Really?
We see now that it was unreasonable for us to ask you to give up your personal space when you have been so generous to us. I promise we were not trying to take advantage of your kindness. I understand that emotions ran high, but I was not able to just pick sides just like that because you are both important to me. Please understand that it was a difficult position. I do not feel good that I am having a hard time with the bank releasing my savings so I can get us a place to stay. Your mother got most of my money and the house. I was very stressed, and I just thought that since I could not take Stacy on a real honeymoon, we could have one at your house.
That was very insulting to me, Dad. Very insulting. She cannot just come from nowhere and start making crazy demands like that.
I understand, and I am sorry. I explained to her after she left that she took it too far. You know how stubborn she can be. We got a very bad apartment with a leaking ceiling. And the way things are looking, I will only be getting money next month. I cannot live like this.
And whose fault is that?
Mine. Please, let us come back for one more month. I am really sorry we will never ask such a thing from you again. You are the only family that we have, and she is threatening to move out of our apartment.
See? She is with you for your money. She does not love you, and you do not want to see that.
Just 1 month. Please, my dearest daughter, you are the only one who cares. The rest of your siblings are selfish.
No, they are not selfish. They are very clever. As for me, I am very stupid.
No, you are not stupid, my dear. You have a kind heart. You cannot be cruel. It does not suit you. Please, you will not even notice that we are in your house. I will make sure your stepmom behaves.
The answer is no. I do not want to see that woman in my house ever again. You will thank me one day for this, Dad, when you see her true colors.
I really thought you were my daughter, but I see you have allowed your mother's poison to corrupt you. Yet I was the one you came to cry to when she called you names growing up.
It is between me and Mom, Dad. When the real you comes back, you know where to find me.